a parallel sports story you're involved in, which is the purchase of Manchester United. Would you be able to give a message to the Manchester United fans who are, I think it's fair to say, desperate to hear from you and desperately interested in your plans for one of the great clubs of the world?
We're here today to celebrate the Super Bowl in Tampa in 2009, and it's a very important day, and I would hope you respect that. This community is here to celebrate that. These people here work very hard.
Thousands of Manchester United fans who are looking forward to hearing from Mr. Glazer, so I just wondered if you could at least send a message to the Manchester United fans and what is a period of real anxiety for them. Mr. Glazer?
Next question.
2 months ago, Manchester United came under the control of the American billionaire Malcolm Glazer, a takeover that saddled the club with millions of pounds of debt and caused outrage among its huge fan base. The Glazer family say they're determined to ride out the protests and bring success and trophies to Manchester United. But critics of the tycoon say his previous business record suggests that he's concerned only with profit.
Do you ever get a sense that he liked sport, that he was passionate about sport?
No, not at all.
All he cares about is Malcolm Glazer.
See, we're trying to work out what's going to happen to Manchester United back in England.
I'd get him out of there as quick as I could if I was over there, one way or another.
The phone call would come every day, maybe 2 or 3 a day. They want to know some nitpicking little thing. It got to the point where they would question every dollar that was spent. One time we had to buy some spray paint to spray out the logo on a panel truck that we traded in on a new one. 2 or 3 weeks later, they called me long distance from Rochester. Why did we spend $11.25 for spray paint?
During the 1980s, Glazer bought a stake in the work surface company Formica, then attempted a hostile takeover. He failed, but the share price soared. Glazer then sold his stake, walking away with a tidy profit. He did the same thing with the motorbike maker Harley Davidson. But following one court injunction to block his takeover, the judge branded Glazer a snake in sheep's clothing.
Stop it!
Okay, stop right there. We are not going to make this into a Netflix type documentary. Come on, please. It's all about Manchester United, and we all know what the Glazers have done to Manchester United. They've destroyed the club, and that's end of. Shortly after the Glazers taking over Manchester United, Sir Alex Ferguson and David Gill jumped ship and quit Manchester United. I guess they already knew the writing was on the wall, and they already knew that the club was going to decline under the leadership and the ownership of the Glazer family. The appointment of David Moyes came as a surprise to most fans, as he had not won a single trophy with Everton as manager. This didn't last for long, and then in came Louis van Gaal, and then the rest of the managers, one by one, trying to rescue this sinking ship. The owners, who had the least interest in the football affairs of the club and focused more on the commercial side of the club, would make sporadic marquee signing to please the fans and almost keep them quiet and stop them from protesting. However, year on year the club declined, and its neighbours and competing rival clubs became much more stronger under better ownership. So where have we ended up now? Well, it's quite simple. The club is in a dire situation.
No owners of any business, good business in the world, when the core activity of that business is failing and the cash reserves have been drained over the last 3 years through COVID, continue to take money out of a business.
But can't get away from the ownership issue, and I've said this before and I'll keep saying it. under the current owners, this is what United is going to be like, because the way they bought the club and the way they loaded debt onto the club and the way the club has to pay those debts off means that United are going to fall further and further behind very well run clubs.
The stadium's falling apart. The training ground's now falling back to second rate compared to the training grounds. The owners are taking 25 million quid a year out of the club when actually the club needs investment and sets the culture badly from the top.
Listen, they don't.
The Glazers.
The Glazers. They don't care about the club. I mean, professional sport. As you know, this Manchester is a marketing club. They will get his money from the marketing. The sports, they don't really care, in my opinion.
Is it time to sell the club, Mr. Glazer? Nothing to say at all. Are the fans just customers to you? Is the customer always right, Mr. Glazer?
And for all of the people, you don't understand how business works. I do, and I just don't want debt, right? I've had debt on this football club for 18 years. Has it been a positive thing? No. Well, I don't want any more, okay? Especially if you're getting debt and they're still here, two of them.
Nothing to say at all to the fans of Manchester United, Mr. Glazer. This is an opportunity for you. An apology, perhaps. Are the fans just customers to you, Mr. Glazer?
They don't really care, in my opinion.
Do you ever talk to them, the Glazers?
Never.
Never?
Never.
Not since you've gone back?
No. They give all the power to the president, the sport directive.
A lot of Manchester United fans are very negative about the Glazers. They think they're taking all the money out and not spending enough on players, on the infrastructure issues you talked about. Do you think the fans are right?
The fans, they're always right.
Manchester City, like Liverpool, like PSG, like Chelsea again now, where you've got owners who put money in, not owners who take money out. 15 years ago, the Glazer family borrowed £600 million to buy Manchester United. 15 years later, that debt is still £600 million, and it's been loaded onto the club. And the takeover has ended up costing Manchester United somewhere between 1.5 and 2 billion pounds. That is money that has gone out of the club. So it's not surprising that Manchester United are the state they're in. Yes, for a while when Sir Alex Ferguson was in charge, he almost papered over the cracks and he made United winners, and they won the title and they won the Champions League. But long term, what you're seeing yesterday is a direct result of the ownership model at Manchester United, and that ownership model would no longer be allowed.
Why is now the right time to sell Manchester United?
Hi, well, as we announced yesterday, the board went through a process and it's decided it's going to look at different strategic alternatives, and that's what we're doing. So,
United fans say that you should have sold the club years ago.
well, once again, we've gone through a process. We're going to look at all different strategic alternatives, and we'll see where that leads us. So I appreciate you talking to me tonight, and I'm going to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Cristiano Ronaldo says that you don't care about the club, and thousands of United fans agree with him. Why should they be wrong?
Well, I'll tell you about Cristiano Ronaldo. He's a great Manchester United player. I appreciate everything he's done for the club, and I wish him the best luck in the future. Thanks very much.
Why did he have to leave the club? Why did he have to leave the club?
All fans want the Glazers to sell up and leave. However, they're not willing to do that without a fight. It seems like the Glazers want to still hold on to Manchester United and eke out every single ounce of money they can from the club. Of course they would. Why wouldn't they? They've got a cash cow. They've got a personal bank account that keeps on giving year on year, and they're waiting for it to increase further. We all can see that year on year football has become big business. The investment does pay off if your club keeps on winning and performing in price, and you could make billions and billions of pounds through this kind of investment. However, the key to everything is success on the pitch. But success on the pitch only comes when the backroom and the foundations of the club are solid, which has been proven by many clubs around the world, including Real Madrid, and now more so with Manchester City on the footsteps of Old Trafford, who have focused tremendously on getting the foundations of the club, the training facilities right, and everything else has fallen into place. The Glazers, however, have tried to cover up the cracks by signing marquee players as and when they feel like, marquee players that do not fit into the philosophy of the team, and even signing managers that have no interest in the actual club structure. It took a certain legend of the club, Cristiano Ronaldo, to finally lift the lid on the Glazers, and his final parting gift to the fans was to call out the Glazers. In his interview with Piers Morgan, he let rip on what he thinks of the Glazers and how the club has declined and has failed to move on whilst under the ownership of the Glazer family. And now we are at the point where the Glazers have publicly announced are willing to sell the club. However, the lack of transparency in the sale process makes you feel like the Glazers are not willful sellers of the club.
This process, you have to say, has been totally undignified. It is unbecoming for a club as big as Manchester United to be treated the way it has been treated for the past 6 months. This has been hanging over everybody at the club. It's been hanging over the manager, his coaching team, the players. What is the future? Who is going to own the club? Why has this taken so long when we've known pretty much from day one that there's only 2 people interested in buying the club? What they have to decide is, do they want all the money now from Sheikh Jassim, or do they want some of the money, which is what Sir Jim Ratcliffe is going to give them, and they would keep a stake and then they would get more money in the future? But also, are they going to consider what is best for Manchester United, or are they just thinking about what is best for them? If you're a United fan, do you want it to end quickly? Yes, of course you do. Even if you're not a United fan, you probably want it to end quickly because you're sick and bored of the whole saga.
And will do everything in their power to hold on as long as possible. Currently, there's 2 main bidders and parties interested in buying Manchester United. One is the English-British-born Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and the other is Sheikh bin Yassim of Qatar. No doubt both parties have got the money to buy the club. However, one party's clearly got funds that could help the club rival the likes of Manchester City, Newcastle, Paris Saint-Germain, Barcelona and Real Madrid. Furthermore, many fans are not happy with the fact that Sir Jim Ratcliffe wishes to keep the Glazers on in some kind of capacity in the club.
Manchester United is owned by the Glazer family, whom I have met. I've met Joel and Avram, and they are the nicest people, I have to say. They're proper gentlemen, they're really nice people.
The whole point of a sale is to get rid of the Glazers, not to have them lurking around in the back room, in the boardroom, making decisions and influencing decisions. In fact, Sir Jim Ratcliffe has gone on record and said that he actually likes the Glazers, which I don't think most fans appreciate after what they've done to Manchester United over the years. It is going to take something huge, something like Sheikh bin Yassim to come in and overhaul everything about Manchester United in terms of its training facilities, in terms of Old Trafford, so that we can catch up to the rival clubs who've gone far, far beyond what anyone could have imagined. Everybody knows, including non-Manchester United fans and Manchester United fans alike that Sheikh bin Yassim would turn the fortunes of the club around. Ask yourself a simple question. What would non-Manchester United fans prefer? Sir Jim buying the club or Sheikh Yassim buying the club? The answer is quite straightforward. No one not connected to Manchester United wants the Qatari Sheikh to buy the club because they are fully aware what that would do for Manchester United. So the answer is simple and obvious for us Manchester United fans. We want the Qatari Sheikh bin Yassim to take over the club and put us on the same footing as the rest of the big clubs around the world.
Today I feel Qatari.
When I pull up out front, you see the Benz on dub. When I roll 20 deep, so it's drama in the club. Now that I roll with Trey, everybody show me love. When you sell like Eminem, you get plenty of groupie love. Look, homie, ain't nothing changed. Rolls down, cheese up. I see exhibit in the cutting, man. Roll them trees up, trees up, up. Roll them trees up, roll them trees up. I see exhibit in the cutting, man. Roll them trees up.
We're gonna win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please,